This will be a short tutorial on what my expectations are for the introduction and the article review. First of all, your introduction doesn't have to be real long, but I want it to catch the reader's attention about why this study is of interest to you. Why do you think it's a good thing to study? Which is essentially, why is the study important? How can it be used? It doesn't have to be real long. Minimum of a paragraph, but it could be as long as a page. Now let me show you an example. I'm going to go to my social project page, which you all have access to. And I'm going to pull up again my own personal study. Now this personal study may not be amazing, but it uses examples of what I'm looking for. Okay, so if you look at this, you can see my introduction right here. Okay, in the introduction, for this case, this was for a 50-some page paper, so the introduction is going to be longer. Yours doesn't have to be this long, but personalize a little bit. Why do I want to study this? Why is this intriguing? So why is what you're studying intriguing to you? What have you noticed? A little explanation of those things. So mine was a few pages long. Yours does not have to be that long, but a paragraph is really pushing it on being too short. You should be able to personalize this a little bit. The second part that we'll do is the article review. Now the article review does not have to be exceptionally long because you don't have a lot of articles. The more articles you have, the longer it will be. So the groups that are with 3 people have a minimum of 9 articles. You will have to cite all of those in your paper. So obviously that would be a little longer than if you're working alone, it'll be 3. Probably should have more than that, but for this assignment, for what we're doing in this class, that's all I'm going to require. So what does the existing literature say about the topic? That's really what you're getting across in the article review. You have to include any references from each article that you mention in your study. And you must cite those articles. Now you cite that by using the last name of the author along with the year it was published. So let's say that you were citing that study that I did. It would look like this, Grody 2004, whatever year it was completed. So let's go back to this. And it's on page 9 is where I have my article review, or sometimes they're called literature, review of existing literature. Selected literature is what I have here. And if you go there, again, read through some of that. Okay, so anytime I reference something, like from a different study, like right here, then you put the author's name and then the year it was published. If there's multiple authors, if there's 4 people that wrote it, use the first one. Okay, so again, here's another one right here. Okay, if you look at this, you'll see there's all kinds. If I mention the article more than once, 2 different parts of it, I need to cite it each time. So cite every time you use it. If there's multiple sides, like maybe you're looking at a topic and maybe it's the use of video games and its effect on education. If there are some articles that you found show a positive effect, write about that. But if there's also articles that show a negative effect, write that too. Put them in separate paragraphs so you're showing both sides of that issue early on. Later on, your study will be what it is, and you can draw your own conclusions. But this is explaining what is out there already. What have studies already shown? What have people already written about on the topic that you're covering or related to the topic that you're covering? I also think this is a pretty good time to do your bibliography, because if you use those articles, you have to include them in a bibliography. And right now you have all your stuff. So as you're doing this, it's not a bad time to create your bibliography at the end. This is really the only thing you'll have in your bibliography are these articles. And so we can go through that process there, but certainly do not lose those articles. Don't delete them off of your computer because you figure, well, I'm not going to use them again. You have to have them included in your bibliography. We haven't covered that yet in class, but it's not all that hard to put a bibliography together. So I would strongly suggest that you do it at this point in time, and then you're done with it. Then you can, save that bibliography, and then when you write your paper, you can put it all together in pieces. You have your introduction done, you have your article review done, you have your bibliography done. As we do some of the research, more of the other things will be completed, and then you could add those. But certainly, what we want to work on now is the introduction and the article review. And you can work, you can do the article review first and then later go back to the introduction. That's fine. But those two things is what we want to be working on at this point.